weird. Sluts selling butts, them buttholes never sold. Dogs breeding like bugs, or rabbits or coat hangers. Killers killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. 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 Where'd all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street? Oh, killers be killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. 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 Where'd all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing? Nailsin News. 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 News.
For tonight, as the title suggests, we have murder. Quite a few, actually. Betrayal. That's sort of mingled in with murder. And then we'll round it out with some OnlyFans. Yeah, I always like to end it on a light note, because, oh my God, the story's terrible. So anyway, let me go ahead. Pellel says, hey, Doug, and everyone. Well, hello, Pellel. Let me go ahead and put super tip in there, which I should have done before I started the show. Yeah. All right. It should be in there. It says all, so it should be everywhere. I hope so. But as I discussed on Pat's show prior to this one, for the moment, it's a long, convoluted story, but AI super tips should work here. I'm going to have to switch it up a bit. You'll notice when the blue flame is playing that it should work. So let me go ahead and do the test one. Did you hear that one? So if you heard that one, then it should be working. Supposedly. Let me go to the layers. Well, that's putting the image on there. It's not supposed to do that. Like that. Why am I not able to hear it? Huh. It was working just a second ago. You see, I do this sort of thing, and then it pulls this stunt on me. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Boy, that's going to get annoying fast, isn't it? But don't worry, I'm doing that so that I can see it. Okay. Uh, uh, Okay. Okay, it's not working. What the hell? I tested it in this. I heard it play, and now it's not doing it. Um, it's supposed to do it. Let me one more time. And no. Okay, I apologize. I it worked this morning. I've done the same thing here, and it's not working. Um, guess who's really pissed? uh, yeah, it shouldn't be doing that. Everything's in place. Okay. Apologies. We'll just move on. Uh, uh, you can still send them if you want. I'll hear it on my end through OBS, but I won't be able to display it on the show. If you prefer to just do the text version, yeah, you can do that. I am not monetized on YouTube, so there's no super chats. Uh, but on Rumble, you can send a Rumble Red if you prefer that. So, wow, what a letdown. All the more reason why I will be dropping the subscription that I upgraded on EVMux, because what's the point? What do you mean no notification, Thompson? It sends it out. I mean, I guess. Oh, that's right. You don't have Rumble. Yeah, it's not going to send it out through YouTube or anything from EVMux. I'm not entirely certain why, but it just doesn't do it. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to put the hours in to get YouTube monetized, but that's a sketchy thing. People get dumped from YouTube uh, for a variety of reasons, and you never really see it coming. I'm a big fan of super tips. I want super tips, and I want because super tips is going to improve overall. I can see all the possibilities that can come from it. Uh, but for whatever reason, somehow, some way, I am not seeing how to get the audio to go through. The overlay works. You see it on screen, so the camera part of it is there. The audio does not go through, no matter what I add to it, no matter what I put through in the browser, it just doesn't come through. So, or get 1,500 people to tune in and do a 1 hour stream, but there will probably need to be nudity. Yeah, you see, they'd probably kick me off for that. Yeah, yeah, I know people do have nudity in their videos and they're fine, but I, it's not gonna matter. Uh, yeah, I don't know about doing that for a YouTube show. Um, maybe a Rumble show, but that's just too bad. Um, change super tip to mean silent tip. It's not super tip's fault. It's mine. Uh, plenty of people have super tip works perfect for them. Uh, for some dumb reason, I'm not figuring it out. But enough about it. What else can you do? I'll try to get help later on about it. I just, the drama and whatnot. I don't care to be pestering or bothering Melton about it for the moment. He's busy with stuff, as I understand it anyway. So later on, I'll reach out. But right now, I don't want to trouble anybody about it, especially since it's probably something very simple and stupid. And I just, for whatever reason, can't see it. It's embarrassing, but there it is. Call it an educational video. How to shave your nuts with Doug Nelson. Yeah. Just a tip. Melton is busy. Doug must be on the NLO Discord. No, he's got a big show coming up. Just take my word for it. All right. Anyway, let's get into these lovely stories, which, if all goes well, will be cut up and redone with some artwork and stuff added to it for later Nailsin News videos, most of which will be at my locals and some on Rumble. Probably can't do it on YouTube. Don't really know. No, Doug, do you have any other scabs? No, wait, I meant to do. Yeah. Doug, do you have any others? Oh, come on. Doug, do you have any other scabs us in the chat can pick? LOL. Sorry, from smartass Nodak. Scabs? You mean from my wounds? Or what have you? I don't know. Oh, who? Big Show. What is he doing? Going to do? Watch Still Toe. You don't know? All right. Let's see here. The first one. Oh, yeah. This one has a tantalizing question. Just on appearance. Yeah. The lovely Sherry says hello. Hello, lovely Sherry. Thanks for watching the show. If you're a little late, still having trouble with the super tip, at least the AI portion of it. And I apologize because I can't figure it out. It's just me and Joey C. Can't crack the code, I guess. All right, so here we go. Our first story of the night. Chicago woman accused of fatally stabbing mute man with lung cancer. That's not how you perform lung surgery. So right off the bat, anyone? It does say woman, but I don't know. Who am I to speculate? A 34-year-old woman was taken into custody last week for allegedly killing a man with lung cancer. She killed him with lung cancer. How'd she do that? Oh, who was also unable to speak. Well, okay, but how did she do that? Well, let's find out. The Chicago Police Department announced that detectives from the Area 1 Homicide Investigation Support Team arrested Catherine Perry on April 15th on charges of first-degree murder and aggravated attempted arson, good Lord, in connection with the stabbing death of a 61-year-old man on October 14th, 2024. Well, according to Willis TV, Tony Lander's sister went to check on him at his home in Chicago's South Shore neighborhood and reportedly noticed a red footprint when she walked inside. She said, "I look again and I see another red footprint. And then I seen my brother laying there. I seen blood all over the door." She said there was blood everywhere in his home. Well, the Chicago Sun-Times reports police and paramedics arrived at the residence and pronounced Landers deceased at the scene. The Cook County Medical Examiner determined Landers died from sharp force injuries, possibly a knife of some sort. Fifth Ward alderperson Desmond Yancey told the newspaper Landers' death was an extremely heinous crime. Wallace reports Landers was diagnosed with lung cancer in 2022 and later had his voice box removed. Jeez. Another one of Landers' sisters said he couldn't defend himself. He was weak. He was sickly. She added, I feel bad that my brother had to die like this. He didn't deserve it. Cook County Jail records show Perry is being held without bond. So what do you think the story was here? Did they know each other? Was something contractual going on? Went wrong? And of course, the sad thing is the guy couldn't, scream for help or anything because, lung cancer. So I'm guessing he must have had some esophageal cancer as well that they had to remove. The voice box. Well, do they have a commentary on this? I guess not. But still, the other mystery is, well, huh? Well, anyway, yeah, that's the, with no voice box and no one can hear you scream. And, geez, blood everywhere, huh? Oh, well, but again, that's not how you perform. I mean, I'm no surgeon, but I'm pretty sure that's not how you perform surgery on cancerous lungs. Oh, wait. I needed to share that in the video. See, I keep getting this wrong. Now, again, I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure that's not how you treat lung cancer. There, that'll work. All right, back to our chat. Pell, I know I'm talking out of my ass. Well, you didn't have to say it up front. I never would have known. It's just text in the chat. But anything you are doing different browser driver updates, compatibility checks you can make. Yeah, well, I've done all of it. Several different browsers. No. The lovely Sherry, what? Pell, hello, the lovely Sherry. Lovely Sherry says, hello, Pell. Pell says she looks like she has a stash. Yes, yes. So this is a possibility here. But of course, you would expect some amount of accuracy in reporting. But when it comes to this, hey, is it really relevant to the story? It might be. I don't know. But, and look, if I'm completely wrong on my suspicions, I apologize to the murderer, the lovely Sherry, I thought she had a projectile, the lung, what? I'm not really, I thought she had a projectile, the lung cancer. I'm not sure the projectile. I mean, do you mean like she tried to hack it away from the guy or something? I don't know. Hey, Thompson. Doug, have you seen Black Mirror? Yes, I have seen the 2 first episodes of the first season. The guy bangs a pig. The other guy falls in love in this sort of weird Orwellian world with some girl. Spends all his credits to get her a chance at stardom. And she achieves it, but not for the cute song she sang. No, she achieved it through exposing her tig bitties and other parts for the masturbatory entertainment of everyone. And he's all crushed, and ultimately he gets a shot and a podcast contract for talking about how upset he is about the world. So they both exploited certain personal things about themselves. The end. Well, I really expanded on that second one, didn't I? Yeah, I did. But the first one, the prime minister screws a pig. And by pig, I mean the animal. Pell, LOL, Hadouken. Hadouken. The lovely Sherry. It's a Street Fighter attack from the game. Ah, never played it. So there you go. See, that explains that one. We're all caught up and cleared up. Everything works nice. All right. What is the next one? Oh yeah, this idiot. Why is it showing all that? I wonder why it does that. Okay. Here we go. Maybe this is all just a mistake, but we'll find out. Whoops. Whoops. Get on in there. You're the next contestant for Nailsin News. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Man asked 911 to call the whole thing off after killing his arguing mother, saying she was actually alive in her pottery studio. Well, here he is, and don't you hate it when you didn't know you were going to get your picture taken and you didn't have a chance to do your hair, An Arizona man dialed 911 after allegedly shooting his mother. Then he apparently changed his mind and said she was in her pottery studio. Yeah, I'm guessing it doesn't work that way. Once you pull that trigger and the bullet, especially when it, kills him, there's no do-over. I guess he thought there would be. Anyway, Aaron Morse, 51, was charged with second-degree murder after police said he shot and killed his mother, 74-year-old Susan Morse, on April 16. According to court documents obtained by a local CBS affiliate, officers responded to a 911 call made by Aaron Morse. That afternoon, Aaron Morse spoke with dispatchers while sitting outside waiting for police, then asked if he could call the whole thing off. Kazaz, a local Fox affiliate, also obtained the court documents, which classified the call from Aaron Morse as an unknown trouble call. During the call, the defendant reportedly told dispatchers that he and his mother had just had an argument and that nothing was wrong. She was just in her pottery studio. When police arrived at the residence, they found Susan Morse with a gunshot wound to her head. She was taken to a nearby hospital where she was later pronounced dead. Aaron Morse allegedly shot his mother, then reportedly placed the weapon in some Tupperware after unloading it. He did not provide dispatchers with any information about the argument he claimed to have had with his mother. During his court appearance, prosecutors said that Aaron Morse has a history with alcohol. Documents stated that officers reportedly smelled alcohol on the suspect when they responded to the scene. They also asked him what happened before the alleged shooting, to which he responded, arguing. Aaron Morse also had blood on his hands and shoes. The documents also stated that Aaron Morse asked about the process he was about to go through. When the police told him that a judge would decide, Aaron Morse reportedly said, "Probably not. I have a heinous crime." Uh-huh. You have one? I think you mean you committed one. Well, Aaron Morse was booked into the Maricopa County Jail on one count of second-degree murder and one count of tampering with evidence. Well, geez. I mean, I guess it's a good thing it didn't happen on Mother's Day, I suppose. I don't know. All right, put this one up. This is the important image. Anyway. Well, there's always little bitty nuggets of mystery in these stories. Like he hid the murder weapon in Tupperware. Now, we know she had a pottery studio. Was that another little dig at Mom? That he wouldn't put it in one of the pots? Or maybe it was a sign of respect that he wouldn't use any of the pots or pottery that she created and crafted, No, he just dumped it in some plastic Tupperware. I guess we'll never know. All right, we'll put that in the hopper. Okay, no deck. That'll do, pig. That'll do. I don't think he said that, did he? I don't recall. I just saw it not long ago. Anyway, Pell, he looks like Gavin McGinnis is his tarred brother. I don't know. He actually does have a brother, but he's not a tard. And I don't think he has the beard, Maybe he does now. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's a sad story, isn't it? But he just said, I don't know, they were arguing or whatever. And he wanted to call the whole thing off, but turns out it doesn't work that way, I don't know. What are you going to do? I don't know what the argument was about. It didn't say he lived with her. Maybe it was that sort of thing. It's like, why don't you get a job and be a man for once? You're in your 50s. Something like that. I don't know. Or it's just he really hated that pottery. You love pottery more than me. Could be. Again, we'll never know. Maybe. I'm unlikely to check it out again. But you never know. Some of these stories do have updates. Oh, well. Moving right along. This is a story that I guess I missed out on. And it's already at the sentencing phase, I believe. Well, anyway, wife accused. Oh, wait, let me start over. Blah, 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 blah. Wife accused of killing sleeping National Guardsman husband requested cash from dad days before alleged murder. So that's her. That's her now deceased husband. This is probably a bailiff. And I'm guessing that's her lawyer, not her dad. New details have been revealed in the case of a 42-year-old mother of three in Utah, accused of fatally shooting her sleeping husband after he confronted her about having an extramarital affair. Jeez, what a bitch. Not that I'm confronting you about the affair I've had. No, the affair she had. So she decides, well, this is over. In newly released court documents, authorities allege that in the days before Jennifer Gladhill allegedly killed 51-year-old Matthew Johnson, she asked for more than $10,000 from her parents, both of whom are accused of helping her cover up her husband's murder. Jennifer Gladhill was arrested in October 2024. Less than a month after reporting her husband missing and charged with Johnson's murder. Authorities believe the fatal shooting took place between September 20th and September 21st, 2024. I think it did cover this one before. So this might be a Nailsin News update. But again, I'm foggy on that. Gladhill's parents, Thomas and Rosalie Gladhill, were arrested days later and charged with obstruction of justice for allegedly assisting their daughter after the shooting by cleaning the home and purchasing a new mattress to replace the one where the victim was killed. Johnson was a member of the National Guard at the time of his presumed death. His body has not been recovered. According to a recently unsealed probable cause affidavit obtained by Law and Crime, investigators looking into Johnson's whereabouts conducted interviews with Gladhill's neighbors and learned that Thomas Gladhill was seen at his daughter's home at about 5 p.m. on September 24th, 2024. Neighbors reported they observed Thomas and Jennifer in the home cleaning. The neighbors reported they observed Thomas leaving the home late at approximately 23 hours. You mean later, I guess? Data from Jennifer Gladhill's cell phone shows she only contacts her father, Thomas Gladhill, when Matthew is last seen or heard from. Investigators obtained a search warrant for Thomas Gladhill's cell phone, which they showed messages between him and Jennifer about money being transferred and purchases made. Data from Jennifer Gladhill's phone also showed messages between her and her father about financial assistance. Maybe she wanted to go back to school, On September 18th, Jennifer messages Thomas and states, I need $13K by Friday. Messages show the victim, Matthew Johnson, transferred money to Thomas's account to be given to Jennifer's account. On September 18th, I observed a transfer from Thomas to Jennifer's Venmo account of $1 million. No, that's $1,000. Man, I can't read. On September 19th, Jennifer sends a message to Thomas to don't forget to give me your card information. The newly revealed affidavit does not state why Jennifer Gledhill allegedly sought the $1,300 from her father. As previously reported by Law and Crime, Jennifer Gledhill is facing a total of 9 charges, 1 count of first-degree felony murder, 5 counts of second-degree felony obstruction of justice, 1 count of second-degree felony possession with intent to distribute, 1 count of third-degree felony desecration of a human body. Well, how do they know? They haven't found it yet. And 1 count of third-degree felony witness tampering. Prosecutors said her arrest was based in large part on information provided by the man with whom Jennifer Gledhill was having the extramarital affair. Hey, look, I was in it for the poontang, but I didn't know it was going to result in all this murder and shit. And how can you trust a woman who does that? He allegedly told investigators that Jennifer Gledhill, who has 3 young children with Johnson, came over to his house on September 22nd, 2024. He relayed that she described to him how her husband had come home on September 20th and yelled at her because he knew she had been sleeping with someone else. She allegedly told her lover that the next day on September 21st, she shot Johnson as he slept in their bed. She told the informant that she put Mr. Johnson's body into a rooftop storage container, slid him down the stairs of their home, and loaded his body into the back of their minivan. Gledhill allegedly smashed Johnson's phone and ditched his truck in a nearby neighborhood. She then drove his body north and buried him in a shallow grave. The informant noticed bruises on Gledhill's body. She allegedly told him she got them while burying her husband's body and cleaning the house. Authorities have some corroborating evidence to back the lover's claims. GPS data from Gledhill's phone places her in the location where she allegedly left Johnson's truck the morning after the alleged murder. Later that afternoon, data reportedly shows she was in Davis County, which is north of Salt Lake City, until she turned her phone off shortly after 2:30 p.m. When she turned the phone back on around 5 p.m., it showed she was driving along a Davis County highway. Surveillance video at a car wash allegedly shows her thoroughly cleaning her vehicle around 11 p.m. before driving to her lover's house shortly before midnight. Neighbors also told cops they saw Gledhill's parents cleaning in her house for several hours on September 24th. When confronted with this fact, her parents claimed they were only there for a short period of time. Detectives asked her father if he went into the master bedroom, and he allegedly responded, "I did not go in where the incident happened." Well, what incident? Perhaps most eye-popping of all, Gledhill allegedly bought a new mattress to replace the one where Johnson was shot to death. But that apparently didn't stop investigators from finding a large blood-stained spot in the master bedroom carpet underneath the bed, and blood on the bed frame slats. Boy, all that work cleaning and you missed that. Got bruised and everything, you know. Gledhill's parents claim they bought her a new mattress on Amazon at their daughter's request. Investigators also searched her parents' home. In a bedroom where Gledhill would sleep, they allegedly found a green and tan Glock 19 box wrapped in a baby's onesie in a tote bag. The gun wasn't there, but prosecutors believe the box contained the murder weapon. Well, odds are, yeah. So anyway, they arrested her on October 2nd. She's been in jail ever since. Well, I would guess so. So there you go. You got the whole story. He was upset that his wife was fucking some other asshole, and so she decided to kill him, you know. And then Yeah, the boyfriend says, whoa, 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 whoa. Well, good thinking on his part. Because, boy, does she show you what she's capable of. Oh, wait, I keep missing this important part. Well, turns out her boyfriend wasn't all that loyal to her, and good on him because, man, you want to sleep next to a woman who's capable of that? I don't think so. All right, that'll work. No, Dak. You know her heart wasn't into the cover up when she dug a shallow grave. Wouldn't you dig a few more feet just in case? Well, you see, she was really tired. They had done all that cleaning, and she was all banged up and bruised from it, and yet she still missed the bloody stain on the carpet under the bed. Then the splatter on the slats of the frame and everything. I mean, so she's like, oh, geez, I'm really tired. This is good enough. Threw some leaves on top of him or whatever. And yet, they still haven't found the body. So, by now, animals probably got to it. So, yeah, it's all terrible. Anyway, Jackie says, hiya, pal. Quite a crowd here for this time of night. Glad for Doug. Well, yeah, thank you. Yeah, usually nobody watches. Oh, well, what are you going to do? But yeah. Thanks to everyone showing up to watch me read these horrible, god-awful stories. But, I do it with my own little style. Doesn't it make it charming? Yeah. Oh, wait, I forgot to show this lady to give you a better look at the murderer. Yeah. There you go. No, stupid, get in there. See, there she is. There she is. Yeah. Yeah. Boyfriend thought, yeah, not worth the risk. Again, I was only in it for the poontang. Not for all this murder and cleaning blood off the floor and stuff. It would be funny if he owned a cleaning company and would have known how to do it a better job than her and her parents did. But he's like, again, I was down for the poon, not for the murder. Damn, that would have been a better one, I think. Oh, well. Anyway, on to the next story. What do we have here? No. There we go. Add to said spotlight. Okay. Father, mourning loss of baby, is murdered by stranger while waiting for bus with wife in broad daylight attack. This is the father who is no longer with us. Here's the murderer. All right, an Arizona man is behind bars for nearly decapitating a man with a hatchet as the victim and his wife sat at a bus stop. I don't know. Was that like his favorite spot to sit on the bench? I don't know. Authorities updated the charges against 25-year-old Daniel Michael to first-degree murder after the victim, Jacob Couch, 32, died Friday from his injuries. The alleged attack occurred around 10 a.m. April 5th on the corner of East Broadway Boulevard and South 6th Avenue near downtown Tucson, according to a police statement. Officers responded and found several bystanders attempting to render aid to Couch. Officers took over life-saving efforts until the Tucson Fire Department arrived and rushed the victim to the hospital. Detectives learned the suspect allegedly initiated a confrontation with Couch and his wife and took out a sharp-edged weapon and struck the victim. Michael walked away and left the area in a public streetcar. 3 days later, police identified Michael as the suspect through surveillance images and other evidence. They arrested him at his home in Tucson's east side. Investigators reportedly located additional evidence at the home, but the press release did not specify what was recovered. Michael originally faced aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and aggravated assault with serious injury before Couch's death. Doctors performed surgery on Couch for several hours, but were unable to save him. Jeez. Couch and his wife are in California, mourning the loss of their stillborn baby when they were traveling via bus to their native Alabama when they made a stop in Tucson. His brother Luke Couch told Fox News. According to the brother, the suspect came over unprovoked and demanded that the couple get up. So, you see, I guess he wanted that seat. I don't know. Since the man seemed agitated, Jacob Couch and his wife started to move away. Then Michael came up behind him and swung a hatchet. And witnesses said that he lifted the axe up over his head and swung it. The victim's family wants swift justice. I want to make sure this man never does this again, and no other family has to go through what my family has gone through, said the victim's brother. To see my brother lying in a hospital bed and unable to move, unable to do anything, it hurts so bad to know that I wasn't able to be there to protect him because he would have done it for me in a heartbeat. Well, death penalty is really the only actual justice in a case like this. Probably should do it by hatchet on this bastard. Over what? A bench at a bus stop? Man, you just never know. All kinds of crazy out there. But more importantly, all kinds of evil. All kinds of evil out there. So, perhaps this was this crazy evil bastard's obsession with a bench at the bus stop. But even if they had given up the seat, do you think it would have prevented the event? No, it wouldn't. This is just bad all around. All right, we'll go with that. Jeez. Added to it that they were mourning the loss of their child, and then, hey, guess what else you can suffer for? Jeez. What a piece of shit. And that's the thing about, well, you know, the only argument against the death penalty is you might get the wrong guy. Not in this case. And ultimately, the surviving victims here, the family members of the victim, they shouldn't be forced to have to feed that thing for the rest of its life. You know? Take care of it, free health care, all that stuff, you know? No. Nodak, oh, wait, Jackie, I don't stream, but I think it would be fun to do a serial killer show with Doug. Hope that doesn't sound psychopathic. Well, I mean, good Lord, look at the stories I'm talking about. I mean, serial killers will fit right in. Nodak, LOL, looking very remorseful. Yeah. Can I go now? Yeah, now. Pell, me too. If not for him, I'd be boring myself trying to find YouTube rabbit holes to go down. Joe Lamont. Hi, Joe. A much uglier version of Sharon Stone. Oh, the previous. You think she tried to do the crossing her legs move in the interrogation room? Jackie says, Pell, have you ever looked into Israel Keys, America's most prolific and least famous serial killer? Quite an interesting rabbit hole. All right. Pellel, Jackie, never heard of him, but I will. I put an interview on watch later. I like serial killers, mafia stuff, among others. Well, maybe the term is, I'm fascinated. about the stories and whatnot, you know. But, hey, I like serial killers. Uh, did I skip one? Uh, okay. Yeah, no, I didn't. All right. Nodak, they should have taken a left at Albuquerque. Yeah, well, look, I no telling where they were while they were going home for the waiting for the bus. So yeah. LOL, Nodak, lots make that same mistake. Well, Bugs Bunny told us. Jackie Pell, I have the same interest. The book American Predator is superb. There is also a very in-depth podcast series about Keys called True Crime Bullshit. So he's innocent? Maybe that's the no, that's not a good way to get ahead and like, Jays, come on. Yeah, that's the deal. They were trying to save him from the injuries. I said he was nearly decapitated. It's amazing that he lived, for that amount of time after that. I don't know. Were they like stitching him up and stuff? Jeez, holy crap. Man, what a horrible crime. Jackie, my current rabbit hole is the insane, sick shit Stalin and his successors did to people in the USSR. I have a personal interest as I know several survivors of Soviet atrocities. Oh boy, there's plenty of those, There was Bill Whittle did a pretty good series. He did Empire of Terror, which is the formation of the Soviet Union, and then Cold War that he did documentary series on that. So it's pretty good. It's over at Daily Wire. It's excellently made, and I do recommend it. Pell Jackie, nice. I'll look into it. Never hear of the behavioral panel. They review and mentally dissect killers. It's the behind the brain reasons that interest me. Yeah, you try to figure it out, and I'm not sure that's really possible. I mean, there's a lot of similarities between them sometimes, and then there's other variations and whatnot. And it's like, hey, a serial killer never changes his MO, and there's a couple that did. They never stop unless they're in jail or dead. And there's some that did. Best to anyone's knowledge, of course. But anyway, Jackie Pell, I love the behavior panel, especially their analyses of Meghan Markle and her dummy husband. Did they do a comparison to the mentality is on par with serial killer? Also, they have done some great work on the Madeline Soto murder. Come on. Pell at Jackie. Stalin, Hitler, down to Gotti, and killers like the Iceman. Pell, yeah, use choice of words. I'm interested in their stories. Yes, I would say, hey, I'm a big fan of Jackie Pell. The Diaries of Unity Mitford were published earlier this year by the Daily Mail. She was one of the famous Mitford sisters and a huge Hitler fan. She stalked him in Munich and they got close. Crazy. Yeah, well, you always got these psychotic fans, And then you got the women who are in love with serial killers in prison, like Richard Ramirez had a bunch of them, write them love letters and they're deadly serious. Some of them are involved in jailbreaks and stuff like that. It's usually not the other way around, but like I mentioned before, Susan Smith had quite a few boyfriends, and one of them was heartbroken to learn he wasn't the only one. So, sometimes it happens the other way, but a lot of, these broads are fascinated with evil men, Spurg Snake, late and gay. Well, if you say so. Jackie, I just finished reading the memoir of Nathan, or was it Nathan Sharansky, who was imprisoned and sent to the Gulag for wanting to leave the USSR. Amazing man, and the book is all inspiring. Yeah, to survive that, you know. Nodak, am I the only one who doesn't go out of his way to read or hear about murders? No, there's quite a few true crime stories and stuff like that. And, you know, I'll go through the playlist on some of those. Uh, Found that site or channel rather on YouTube, Bad Things. It's mostly true crime. Every now and then there's a few other things like, you know, mysterious disappearances, and some people offer up theories, well, the UFOs and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's analyses of crimes, and they'll take a guess of what they think most likely happened. On quite a few of them are, you know, unsolved, that kind of thing. Jackie Nodak, unfortunately, one doesn't need to go out of one's way to hear about such awful people. Yeah, there's there's a lot. Unfortunately true, Jackie says Nodak. Pellel at Jackie, excuse me. I'll look that up as well. Usually I just fall into the same people, the same killers over and over. Yeah. It's like, how many times can you hear that favorite song? Jackie, Natan. You mean Notan? Or okay, Natan. All right. Jackie Pell, it's always so exciting to find a cozy new rabbit hole. Well, are these cozy? I mean, the Murdaugh murders was one that hooked me a few years ago. He might be getting a new trial soon, unbelievably. Yeah, what'd they do? They screwed up, didn't cross the T's, dot the I's, stuff like that. Pellel, one of the behavioral panels was a physical therapist that killed his family in Florida. Tote was his name. He was in Colchester, Connecticut, and my good friend was his patient. Good Lord. He said the guy was a know-it-all. Yeah, that's one of the signs. You got to be careful about those guys. One thing upsets them, and that's it for you. Pellel, Jackie, the son of Sam, has found Christ. Well, so he says. He said he was screwed up in the head, the E-head, and never wants to come out. Well, he shouldn't. But there you go. Look, that's between him and the Lord, but you got a lot of time on your hands in prison, and you got to think about stuff. Plus, it's that controlled environment, and suddenly, the guy's fine. He does his chores, he reads, and all that. And it doesn't bother anybody. But left to his own devices, he kills people. Yeah, I think that's the flaw in the guy. Jackie, Doug, do you have a favorite murderer? I can't say it's a favorite one. You can go back to Jack the Ripper and the mystery of it all. Although I think that one solved. His name was Charles Lechmere. I think that's the guy. Zodiac was one. That's another one. Although that one appears, I think that's that Netflix series has a strong case. Went back and forth on that guy. There is the curious thing about the letters. They were able to get DNA from him, and it's not his DNA. But still, there's a lot of stuff with him and the obsessiveness there, especially with his obsession over a little girl and all that sort of stuff. Ted Bundy, I remember that was one of the earlier ones. That was when I was a kid that was going on, and he got caught, escaped, got caught again, put on trial and all that. And I remember the night of his execution, one of the last people, I think, to get the electric chair. And I remember the people out holding the signs, "Burn, Bundy, burn." And then there was like that last interview he did with this pastor who was like a big anti-porn guy. And so he wanted it. And so Ted Bundy's, yeah, it was pornography. That's why I did it. It turned me into this. It's like, okay, did it? I'm sure it didn't help with his obsessions, and that's another one of those things. Well, this sexually frustrated man and whatnot. he had no problem getting girlfriends. You know, they say like when he was an awkward teenager in high school and was shy around girls and stuff like that, and that might have been but it's like, geez, come on. There's got to be more explanation to it than that. It's very simplistic. And then when he was an adult, a lot of women were into him. And again, he's another one. He married his girlfriend while in prison, and they had sex. They had a daughter together, and all this. What the hell, But so actual favorite. I mean, a story of more interest. I probably default to Jack the Ripper and Zodiac, because there's just more there, or at least at one time. I don't see it as a mystery now so much, but there was quite a bit in that. And that whole cat and mouse thing Zodiac did, what have you. Anyway, Nodak says the bigger question is, were there any serial killers who had wonky glucose levels? LOL. Oh, I doubt it. No. Nope. Yeah, probably. Jackie Pell, I read about him and John Douglas and some other profilers' books. Son of Sam is extremely low IQ. Yeah, there was this whole story that he was one of a group and they didn't really get all the killers, and there really was a satanic, plot or what have you, that sort of thing. I don't know. Pell at Nodak, they weren't diabetics. They were killabetics. Good Lord. So, like their sugar's all messed up, so they had to kill. Jackie Nodak, LOL, what were their ACLs? You mean AC1? I mean, levels. Did they follow the glucose goddess? Nodak, ha ha. Jackie, the San Francisco Zodiac killer terrified me as a kid because they never caught him. Grew up on a farm, and those dark nights could make those books even scarier. Yeah. Now, he's one that, of course, the guy's dead, but I like the letters and everything stopped for a good while before that guy died, So one wonders. There's still some wiggle room, but not a whole lot. But there's a lot of stuff in that Netflix documentary that, man, really almost case closed on I'm already forgetting his name. But anyway, Pell, one of my favorite murders was Roy DeMeo of the Gambino crime family. He would have been a serial killer regardless. Gotti didn't even want to touch him or his crew. Oh, yeah. Might have like bloodstains on him. Jackie Pell, I'll have to look into him. So they noticed that, hey, he's got a few screws loose. He might make a great hitman. He's going to kill anyway. Jackie, Ted Bundy chills me to the core. The interview he did the night before his execution is on YouTube. Right, yeah. But he does look like he's shitting bricks, doesn't it? So you got to take some consolation. Fucking bastard. Fell and Jackie, his own crew had to kill him. Mafia thought he was out of control, and technically, you can't kill in the Mafia without permission. Well, that's the problem. Yeah, like the guy, they don't want attention and stuff. Got to be professional. It's about business. Pell and Jackie was just thinking of Bundy, but I don't get... Uh-oh. What happened? Jackie Pell, I used to live on the same block as a famous mob hangout in Manhattan. Campagna? I went on a date there once and found it exciting in a dorky way. Pell, Jackie, it is. You are around all that history. I geeked out going to eat in Little Italy. Jackie Pell, I'm not super interested in Bundy. He's just so off-putting. Well, yeah, he's evil. Nodak, I'd have to say my favorite serial killer is the doo-doo ball killer. Yeah, still at large. Still at large. Dropping doo-doo balls in the mouths of victims. Pell at Jackie, really? As a woman, you find him creepy? I mean, not knowing who he is? It's like, what? Supposed to... Hey, give him a chance. You might find him charming. Other girls did. Jackie Pell, I also spent time at some of the Jersey mob hangouts while dating someone who was later given a pardon, good Lord, by Trump at the end of his first term. New York, New Jersey is full of hotspots. Well, I imagine. I heard they did a whole series about a family that lives in New Jersey. Jackie Pell, he just disgusts me, and I don't find him that interesting for whatever reason. Well, you know, Mark Harmon played him in the TV miniseries. Yeah, I don't know. There's some scenes. I think it was Anthony Cumia who caught this when during the trial, where he's being his usual charming self and talking with people. And he's all black, and then for a moment, there was some look he gave the camera, like, and it's like that's the real face of the monster. It's in there. All right, moving along to all these fun stories. That one was really sad and awful about the guy mourning the death of his child, only to be nearly decapitated by some idiot over a spot on a bus stop bench. Ah, boy, some people, you know, there's just no reasoning with people. Well, what you gonna? No. Jeez. Why won't this thing cooperate with me? Man rips out Angers. Angers. Oh my God. Start again. Man rips out stranger's eyeball after victims ask, "How are you doing?" while walking past him. Well, you see, I mean, he doesn't have a whole lot, but he's got that one weird tattoo on his face. Face tattoos is your first clue, you know. Don't make eye contact. Yeah, definitely don't talk. Just go about your business. An Arizona man is another one is facing felony aggravated assault charges for an unprovoked attack he allegedly unleashed on a stranger, with cops saying he grabbed an individual from behind and completely removed their eyeball from the eye socket after the victim walked by and asked the suspect, "How are you doing?" The victim stated that during this incident, he was in fear for his life and safety, believing that Daniel could have killed him. Well, I can't imagine what would have given him that idea. Well, anyway, police allege in court documents obtained by local Fox affiliate Kazaz, which outlined the charges against Daniel Lanks, 39, who was accused of carrying out the attack on Monday, April 14th, near 48th Street and Broadway Road. The attack was completely unprovoked, and he did not threaten Daniel, challenge him, and did not have any form of weapons to be perceived as a threat. Lanks allegedly pummeled the victim with punches to his face after removing his eyeball, causing a fractured jaw. Jeez, wasn't the gouging eyeball not enough? Anyway, the victim stated the loss of the use of his right eye and fractured jaw will forever impact his quality of life. It is unsure if he will be able to work again or perform many basic life functions. Lanks was allegedly near a shop at the intersection of Broadway and 48th Street when the victim crossed his path early Monday at around 1 a.m., Kazaz and Arizona Family report. "How are you doing?" the victim allegedly asked. Police say Lanks responded by telling the man he would whoop his ass as the individual walked away from him. Post Miranda, Daniel told detectives to shut the fuck up and that he did not understand his rights. Oh, he's trying to get out on a technicality, you see. Lanks was booked on felony aggravated assault charges. He had been released from custody on his own recognizance just 1 week prior to the alleged attack for a separate arrest and charge of aggravated assault. An organized retail theft for a prior incident that allegedly occurred in March. Lanks is currently being held on $500,000 bond for the April 14th attack. Lanks. Let's see here. What would be a good little ending? Boy. Again, usually your first clue is the facial tattoo or something like that. Do not engage in conversation like, how are you doing, sir? Or something like that. I know it's folksy and stuff. And oh boy, don't we wish we could have that fantasy of a nice neighborhood and everything. But more than likely, just doesn't exist anymore. So don't talk to him and don't make eye contact. You never know when they might perceive your look as the evil eye. There you go. All right. Moving right along. Pell L, he just discussed me. Okay, this one. At Jackie, North Bergen, New Jersey, is the stomping ground of the Iceman. They'd find bodies in barrels at gas stations. Oh, man. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Jackie, Doug, you ever date a woman you thought was seriously mentally ill and had potential for violence? Well, I mean, it wasn't really dating per se. But fortunately, she wasn't obsessed with me. She never got violent, but she was pretty nutty. But, you know, since then and other stories and stuff, could have been. God, whatever happened to her? I think she can't remember where she went to. I don't know. Anyway, she's not that guy's problem anymore either. So, yeah, I guess it all worked out some kind of way. I probably have already said too much. Pell, I say that about Bundy because people say he was attractive and successful. Not a serial killer look to him. Makes him more scary. Well, what does a serial killer look like? Oh, you mean like Jason Voorhees? Yeah. If they look like that, you know, don't say, hey, buddy, how you doing? Jackie Pell, I used to live in Bergen County until a few years ago. Someone connected to the Iceman is very active online on the Patrick Tomlinson forums. Spurg Snake, what the fuck? You mean taking the guy's eye? Yeah. Jackie, I might have to leave. This story is particularly horrific to me. Well, I understand. It's, boy, I tell you, of all the things, you know, and I guess well, okay, I won't go into the details how bad it could be. And I think the guy will have a substantial claim for disability after something like that. Pell Jackie, comedian Joey Diaz is from there too. Jackie, no offense, Doug. I'm just squeamish. Well, yeah, I understand, especially about damage to the eye and everything. Pell, that's why you don't ask anyone how they are doing. Yeah, you just can't be neighborly anymore. You don't know. But first clue, face tattoo. Hey, look. He'd say, hey, come on. I was stupid when I was young, you know. Don't hold it against me and all that. Yeah, but I'm just not going to ask how you're doing, you know. Jackie Pell, yeah, and if you follow MLC, Ray's friend Teamster Tim was also there during that time and says Joey is embellishing a lot of it. You don't say. Nodak, I think the only story around my parts that Doug could do on his show is that guy that went into a church during daily mass, got naked, and started jack-offing in the baptismal font. Well, was that in Bismarck? Jackie, never been a Joey Diaz fan because he doses people secretly, even if they're getting in a car to drive. He also drives fucked up with his kid in the car and then brags about it. Well, that's not going to end well. Pell Jackie, I can see that. He seems to get away from himself most times. Jackie, no, that's so disturbing. My whole life, I didn't think a flasher would upset me that much until it happened. No mercy for flashers. Well, yeah. Who wants to see that shit? Pell, I saw a vid recently of a comedian, can't remember who Joey gave him a star of death, and it hit him while driving. He had to pull over and call his wife. The hell? Nodak, the funny part of that story, Jackie, is that the guy was a door-to-door Jehovah's Witness guy. Did he give him a watchtower? Jackie Pell, was it Owen Benjamin? Joey gave him a star of death, and he was never the same, though he was a piece of shit to begin with. Literal Hitler fan. Owen's gone that far down the... Yeah, I guess so. Joe Lamont, news only focuses on human casualties. They ignore all serials killed. Not Raisin Bran, huh? Jackie Nodak, religious psychos are the worst. Yeah, they blame God for everything. Nodak, how are you doing, Doug? Well, a little better today. This morning was awful, but got through it. Naps seemed to help. And ibuprofen. Nodak, Mandan, North Dakota. That's where the guy beat off into the baptismal. What? Let me guess. He said the devil made him do it, huh? Pella, can't remember who, but I know it wasn't Owen. Isn't he like 7 feet tall or something? Jackie, Joey has messed with a lot of people. He then went down the internet tough guy route with threatening people. Complete lol. All right. Now I will get back to the stories. What did I do? Okay, that one. Yeah, this mess. Well, I mean, which one? Yeah, I guess you got a point. They're all messes, aren't they? All right. Upset about being told she had to move out, daughter went shopping after murdering father and attacking mother for evicting her. So this is another one of those that just, I don't want to grow up. I'm a lazy slob. Anyway, a 33-year-old woman in Florida will spend the remainder of her days behind bars for killing her father and attempting to kill her mother because they asked her to move out of their home, stabbing both parents inside the residence before fleeing the scene. Judge Timothy McCourt ordered Christina Ann Adams to serve 2 consecutive sentences of life in a state correctional facility for the murder of her father, Richard Langer, and the attempted murder of her mother, Sally Langer. Our fundamental duty is to seek justice, and in pursuing this goal, we will strive to provide closure for the victims and their families while ensuring accountability for those responsible. 5th Judicial Circuit Chief Assistant State Attorney Walter Forgy said in a statement following the sentencing hearing, "Today, as difficult as it has been for the victims and their families, I believe we've gotten just that." According to a news release from the 5th Judicial Circuit State Attorney's Office on September 16th, 2022, deputies with the Marion County Sheriff's Office responded to a 911 call regarding a stabbing that had just occurred. Upon arriving at the scene, first responders entered a residence in the 100 block of Southeast 70th Terrace on Ocala, Florida. Once inside the home, deputies located 2 victims, an adult male and an adult female, both of whom appeared to have suffered multiple stab wounds. While rendering aid to both victims, Victim 1, who was later identified as Richard Langer, stated to officials that his daughter stabbed them. A law enforcement alert bulletin was issued, and shortly later, a traffic stop was conducted on Adams' vehicle, which was also occupied by her wife. Oh, it's that situation. Were they both living with her parents? Adams and her wife were both taken into custody following the traffic stop. During the subsequent interview, Adams' wife relayed to law enforcement that she had just finished running a few errands before meeting the defendant at the grocery store. She indicated to detectives that she did not notice anything out of the norm for the defendant, nor did the defendant mention any altercation prior. However, when Adams was questioned, detectives said that her recollection of events did not match up with the statements given by her spouse. Adams later told detectives that she was angry over being asked to leave the home that she shared with the victims. Adams stated she retrieved a large knife and then attacked both victims, stabbing them multiple times. Adams stated after she believed the victims were deceased, she attempted to destroy evidence and then left the location. Adams told detectives that following the attack, she changed her clothing and went shopping. Yeah, sometimes women do have shop. It's kind of a means by which to relieve stress and stuff. It's kind of like a hobby. I mean, not to say there aren't some things you actually need to get and stuff like that. But, a lot of times window shopping, looking at stuff, it's relaxing for them. However, it was her father who identified her as his assailant just before he died. All right, well, there you go. So they wanted her to leave. One wonders why, Well, look, when you live under someone else's roof and they say, my house, my rules, it's true. If you don't like it, move out. I don't know what the situation was. This woman is described as her wife, but they weren't living together? What's that all about? And the wife says, she didn't seem out of the norm, but she's probably crazy all the time anyway, so how would you notice? All right, that'll work. Joey messed up people. Spurg Snake, another stabby daughter. Yeah. Your little girl went all stabby. Sean Carter, those parents were so selfish. Yes, they just wanted their adult daughter to get out. No, like a lot of alcoholics would love a life behind bars. Do they have bars? Yes. They sentence you to heaven. Joel Lamont, well, she can't get evicted from prison. Yeah, she should be happy. She's got a place to stay. And that's the thing. Should be death. Because, you got to pay to feed that thing. Pellel, if she killed them when asked to move out, I can imagine how she was to live with. Yeah. I mean, she's obviously, yeah. But the wife said, she seemed fine to me. Okay. Spurg Snake retail therapy. There's no therapy for that. Jackie, boy, she's a real beaut. Oh, isn't she? Yeah. Sean Carter, according to my wife, there's nothing like shopping for a nice pair of shoes after a good stab. Yeah, I guess so. Because, her wife said, yeah, we're having a good time, buying shoes and stuff. Yeah, it was great. Sean Carter, laughing emoji at Joe Lamont. Pella, oh, nice wordplay with bars, LOL. Yes, indeed. Jackie, Doug, you probably didn't see, but Kevin Brennan disavowed Chad during Pat's stream. Really? Said he's out of the Chad and Ray business. Pat's show tomorrow should be interesting. Wow, boy, what could Chad have possibly done? I mean, Ray's been mad at off and on here and there. Odds are Ray will probably get back on if he wants to be, you know. But Chad, I remember a while back, this whole thing, he just, did scorched earth on Pat Dixon over him doing Melton's Hackamania show. But then later on, Chad went on, I think did Shuley's show. And it's like, and of course, Kevin vehemently despises Shuley for whatever reason. And then nothing, he was perfectly fine with his little boy, Chad. So what did Chad do? What did he do? That is the mystery that Kevin, that's it. You're done. And I mean, I don't know. What's Chad going to do? That's got to be heartbreaking. I want to, check in, KB was trying to get Chad to stop being on non-hostile terms with Oh, okay. So it's like multiple Shuley are just being too nice to Shuley. Chad refused to get into a jihad against Shuley, a bridge too far for Kevin, who is obsessed with Shuley. Well, I mean, it's like Pat Dixon does the show with Melton, and he, and he loses his mind over it and stabs him in the back over that. And it took him a while. I don't know. I guess I don't get it. It's weird. There's no real consistency or logic to it all. And I've never understood. I don't know the Shuley story. I thought I'd heard one thing, that he was present when Gino revealed Kevin's number, and he was all upset about that, and I guess that's somehow Shuley's fault or something. I don't know. I can't remember what the story was. And but then of course Gino's on his show and stuff. So what the hell is that about? Whatever. Joe Lamont and Sean Carter, your wife does not have to get Laboutin with red souls. Just walk in blood. Nodak, well, yes, yeah. What's that? What was the story that they the footprints? Oh, that was the first one with the guy who was mute. Oh my God. Nodak, Chad let Tass catch him, and Kevin eye the act while Chad was in a dog. Oh, yeah, that could be. Well, he told him to watch the teeth, and he said, "I'm sorry, sir." And then he left the door open, and Tass saw it. And so that's probably what it was. That was the final straw. Jackie, Kevin's wife is a Stern fan, and years ago asked KB to take a picture of her with Shuley. KB never got over that because she took a picture with Shuley. That's it. That's stupid. Fell only KB can make up with enemies like Gino. Yeah, he did. So Jackie, Kevin is constantly calling for more Jews to be raped and murdered because Shuley is Jewish. It's completely insane and disgusting. So it's all Shuley's fault. I mean, it's got to be some hang up with Jews, right? Is that why the whole Shuley thing? If Shuley was just not a Jew, he'd have been over it by now. I mean, I don't know. Was he like really holding on to his wife, and it looked a little more untoward than it should have been, or something? Pelel Shuley was on Calta, and Calta gave out Pat's number. Shuley didn't stop or show disdain for the act, if I remember correctly. Pat's number? Why would Kevin care? You mean Kevin's, right? So someone else did it. It wasn't just Gino doing it. So, Jackie Pell, he's a miserable old man. Yeah. But him being old and miserable about being old. Is that Shuli's fault too? I don't know. Spurg Snake, now I am thinking of that weird. Oh, it skipped on me. Now I'm thinking of that weird bear scene at the end of The Shining. Well, yes. If you check out Pat's show, well, there's a little a different edit of The Shining, starring Kevin Brennan and Chad. Jackie KB tweeted that Hitler should have killed more Jews. He lost his account over the constant calls for Jews to be murdered, and a solid 98% of the MLC audience cheers him on. Okay, so what's the punchline in that one? I guess not. So, oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, did he? Is he still off Twitter, or I can't remember? Well, I mean, it is a call for violence and a death threat, and that's one of the big no-nos of it. But saying that Hitler should have killed more. Okay, so he does have this Jew obsession type thing. So the picture with his wife is really not as relevant as Shuli's ethnic background, we should say. So I think case closed on that one. Pell Jackie agreed, and the misery far exceeds the comedy. Yeah, I know. Where's the comedy? He used to make me laugh, but now it's always rage. Pell, yes, Calta gave out KB's number, not Pat. Okay, so I don't even know who Calta is. So this was a separate incident than the Gino. But still, I mean, on those incidences, I was like, yeah, don't give out people's private number and stuff like that, you know? But he's long past. I mean, there was some arguments he had made, I mean, about his brother Neil. And I was like, yeah, I can see his point and stuff like that. But good Lord. It's way beyond that. And just, you know, obsessing over Jews and all that and Hitler. And after a while, it's like, oh, you're not kidding, right? Jackie Pell is pathetic. He wouldn't say this shit to anyone IRL, just online. Oh, you mean it? Yeah. He takes Stevie Lou with him everywhere as a bodyguard. Absolute coward. Nodak, the punchline? Prank. Yeah, I guess so. Jackie Doug, he had a backup Twitter account that he's ban evading on. His previous account was also a ban evasion account. Jackie, Kevin thinks anyone Jewish is automatically guaranteed to be successful and rich in show business, despite all the Jewish losers he knows. He's a more, well, yes. That's all a part of the plan. Don't you understand, Jackie? That's how they fool. Those are decoys. Jackie KB doxed Sarah Silverman twice and others as well. He admitted he wants to get media attention like he did when he celebrated Matthew Perry's death. Yeah, that was his last big moment. And so, but still, I mean, he bitches about people doxing him his phone number, which I can understand not wanting that to happen. But then you go and do it to someone else, you know? I mean, I guess it'd be different if Sarah Silverman doxed him, but I don't believe she did she? So, anyway, Pell Jackie, he's got a one-dimensional thought capacity. Well, there is that possibility that the senility is starting to set in, but I think a big part of this goes back quite a ways. So, you know. A. Thompson, Doug still on? No, this is all taped. Jackie, he said today that he's been tagging TMZ in his shitty tweets. Oh, no. A. Thompson, what's up, Doug? Anything good on Netflix this weekend? I'll probably watch another episode of Black Mirror. And There's a bunch of stuff on there. I keep having like a list of stuff that I need to get to, and good Lord, where does the time go? Where it usually goes, away. Hey, Thompson, when they dox your phone number, I'll call odd hours just to say hello. You see, that's what I'm worried about. See, I am sympathetic to the act. I don't think it's a good thing. But then when he does it himself, Jackie, Sarah Silverman didn't do shit to him. She rolled her eyes and referred to him as basically a white nationalist on some podcast, and that offended him. Yet she wasn't wrong. I guess. I mean, boy, at one time, if he hates Jews so much, him and Sarah, yeah. So anyway, what a mess. So let me see here. Where's the next one? I did the crazy daughter who killed her parents. Yeah. We're down to the last two. What is it? Texas. Where is he? Oh, wait. How did I miss that one? Yeah, all right. Let me get that one real quick. It's a teacher story. No, it's not one of those. And then let me keep that for the segment. Yeah. Oh, maybe I could do it like this where I do the opening and stuff. It's time for another teacher and crime scandal. No, it's not one of those. And you're going to be glad it wasn't. All right, so that ought to work. See what I mean? Yeah, I know, like I'm an Adonis or whatever. A drunk elementary school teacher plows into pedestrian on the way to work. Here she is. Well, at least she's got a chipper attitude about it all, She's like, oh, well, I'm silly sometimes. A 29, really? Huh? Yeah. A 29-year-old special education teacher in Kentucky was arrested this week after she allegedly got drunk before driving to school, hitting and critically injuring a pedestrian on the way. Jamie Caldwell was taken into custody at the school on Wednesday morning and charged with one count of aggravated operating a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol and one count of leaving the scene of an accident with failure to render aid or assist with death or serious physical injury. Assist with death. I mean, if she'd killed the victim, you kind of already did it. You mean the funeral arrangements or something? I risk, aid dealing with trying to help people. Maybe they mean insisting with avoiding death. I don't know. Anyway, according to a news release from the Lexington Police Department, officers at about 6:50 a.m. on Wednesday responded to a call regarding a hit and run involving a pedestrian in the 1000 block of Georgetown Road, which is about 75 miles east of Louisville. Upon arriving at the scene, first responders located the pedestrian and emergency medical personnel transported them to a local hospital for treatment of life-threatening injuries. Police then utilized the department's real-time intelligence center. Oh, wow, they got one of those. To quickly locate the vehicle and driver, later identified as Caldwell, involved in the collision. The intelligence center allows the department to access public traffic video feeds and footage from private surveillance cameras, with permission, of course, to aid in investigations. A copy of the arrest citation obtained by Lexington ABC affiliate provided additional details about the circumstances of Caldwell's arrest. According to the report, police located Caldwell at Glendover Elementary School. She went to do class. Oh, man. All drunk and stuff, where she is employed as a teacher. Officers at the scene said that Caldwell's vehicle was in the school parking lot with visible damage. Was it Parked awkward. Was it in the handicap area? They also reportedly noted that when they came into contact with Caldwell, her eyes were bloodshot and watery. They also said they smelled alcohol coming from her. Speaking with police, Caldwell allegedly admitted that she had been drinking Bacardi rum Tuesday evening and taken prescription drugs for anxiety, depression, and high blood pressure. Okay. Caldwell also allegedly admitted that while driving to school that morning, she heard a thud, but did not realize she'd hit a person. A subsequent breath test, revealed that Caldwell had a blood alcohol concentration of 0.278, more than 3 times the legal limit to drive in the state. She was then taken into custody and processed at the Fayette County Detention Center. Caldwell on Thursday appeared in court via Zoom, where she pled not guilty to the aforementioned charge, according to... After waiving a formal arraignment hearing, a magistrate judge set a cash-only bond of $25,000. She is currently scheduled to appear in court on April 29th. Well, that's going to be soon. Fayette County Public Schools issued a statement to multiple news stations regarding Caldwell's arrest through district spokesman Dia Davison Smith. Well, Fayette County Public Schools is aware of the situation involving Jamie Caldwell. Due to the ongoing investigation and the confidential nature of personal matters, we are limited in what we can share at this time. However, we can confirm that the employee has been placed on administrative leave. As always, the safety and well-being of our students and staff remain our highest priority. Well, she put the car in the parking lot at the school, so I guess the kids were safe, but she was still drunk, though, pretty sauce showing up. Well, on administrative leave, but is it paid administrative leave? It usually is. Damn, that could be a good ending to this. All right. Well, another teacher put on administrative leave while the investigation is conducted. But was it paid administrative leave? Odds are it is. It's one of the perks of being a teacher. See, now it's like Doug hates teachers and is against education or some crap. And no one will notice. Nothing to worry about. Let's see. A. Thompson, did you see the Black Mirror where they subscribed to the brain surgery? I thought that was brilliant. No, I've only seen the first 2 episodes of season 1. A. Thompson, River Mind. Jackie says, every comedy club KB got hired by, the person who passed him and paid him was a Jew. SD Gnome Bud Freeman et al. He blames a population of 15 million for his failures instead of owning his baggage. Yeah, that's what he does. So it's the Jews want to get him, I guess. That's his theory. Tell her she's 29. No way. Well, look, alcohol, all that abuse, it takes its toll. Jackie, special education in Kentucky. The jokes write themselves. Well, now. What are you going to... But how's it going? You got a drunkard for a teacher, and they just say, hey, she'll do. Jamie, you got those kids. Okay. Hey, Thompson, I guess American kids have 2 options. Have a drunk teacher or a teacher that sleeps with them. Yeah, at least it's not that we know of. Nodak, she didn't want to be listed as tardy at school. See, she was dedicated. Pell out at Jackie, because that's just easier to do than to admit he was wrong. Narcissistic move. Oh, yeah, there's the telltale signs. It's all going on there, Pell out, 0.27 HFS. You see, I don't know the secret codes. Yes, I'm that stupid. A. Thompson, 0.27. OMG, that's MKE level drunk. Good Lord. Well, at least he just goes on live streams. He doesn't run over people. By the way, no mention of the victim. He said he's in serious condition, or she. I don't know. You know? Yeah, it's always about the perpetrator, isn't it? The victims are often forgotten. Yeah, that happens. Pella, I'm surprised she knew what planet she was on. Yeah, and she found her way to the school. I guess because it's routine. There's still something of an autopilot there. Well, I heard a thud. Jackie Pell, usually people who fixate on Jews have a lot more screws loose than that. So it is with KB and much of his audience. Yeah, everything that goes wrong, you stub your toe in the night because the lights are off. Jews, that kind of thing. Pell at A. Thompson, LOL, LOL, LOL. She was watching the baby kick at that level. Okay. Jackie Nodak, a toast. Nice use of tardy. You noticed that, did you? A. Thompson, I think 0.27 is medical emergency. Well, yeah, it was for the poor guy she ran over, or woman, we still don't know. Pell Jackie agreed. Anyone who blames any group of people are too delusional to be insightful, so they'll never change. And most of the fans they are just followers with no life, so they try to... Okay. Oh, please their daddy. Yeah. Oh, God. Ugh. Pell, holy fucking shit. Oh, well, that makes sense now. Jackie Pell, it's refreshing to see someone in a YouTube chat who understands how stupid the Jew fixation is. Past few years, the obsessives are everywhere, even frivolous podcast communities. Yeah, it is bizarre. It just seemed to take off, and all the weird theories and stuff. And it's like, 5 seconds of some amount of thought. I mean, some of that stuff you would have to be convinced they have supernatural powers or something, or like the X-Men or something. I don't know. A. Thompson, you show up at school to teach special kids MKE level drunk. What a great school. Yeah, I mean, would they forgive her if she just drank on the job and not while driving? I don't know. A. Thompson, a normal person, 2.7 is fatal. For a drunk like her, it's a good time. Yeah, that's the thing. She's obviously built up the resistance. It's possible she has a problem. Pell at Jackie, people just need excuses other than their own fault to blame things him on. Jackie, imagine how much it would harsh your buzz to be drunk when you're supposed to be teaching special education. Sounds like straight up not a good time. That could be the deal. She's like, I just can't face another day. A. Thompson, you need to work hard to get around 2.27. Yeah. Pell A. Thompson, really, for me to get to that level, I would have drunk so much to puke already. Maybe even pass out before that level. Jackie, Doug, they were always around, but people at least had some shame to keep it in on the DL. Then certain people made it downright chindi post October 7th. They'll get what's coming to them, but it's tiresome. Well, it's the odd thing. I mean, October 7th, it's like, look what you Jews did. I don't, what the hell? I mean, what? You got yourselves killed again. I don't know. What is the logic there, And it's like, well, you make the argument, I don't want to be involved in foreign wars at any level or something of that nature. But almost instantly, that really wasn't the argument. And it's like, yeah, I don't think that's your concern. Hey, Thompson, I mean, you could make a case about foreign wars if that's all you wanted. And there's a few who just did, yeah, that's the deal. you know. But it's a long-winded thing. I could go into it and make it more of it. You take the emotion out of it, and you can't completely take a history out of it. But a lot of it, look at the globe, look where Israel's located, those bodies of water, what goes through there, shipping, and it has its merits in that level beyond just the horrible history and whatnot and all that sort of thing. And the whole founding of Israel and whatnot, and so on and so forth, which has been, there's takes on it that are just patently false overall. As if, hey, it's just a bunch of Europeans stole it. It doesn't. No, that's not the story overall in that. But it takes forever to go into it, and it necessitates it. The interesting thing that no one even talks about is the northern passages when that happens. I don't know. It'll be a different world then. About, we don't have to worry about certain regions anymore and that kind of thing. But it's a long, again, convoluted and story. But bigotry is always, basically, it's the broad brush. So, and when it involves other elements and whatnot of different foreign interests, when suddenly the massive interest is on anything involving Jews, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. And there's very little justifying arguments for it, other than is like, I really, after 20 years of war, some of that coming out while some people got sucked into it, I could understand some of the upset nature of just, oh God, another one, and Ukraine was the same thing in that element. But no real concerns about the influences of China and stuff like that, and other things. The aid to Egypt and what have you that plays out within the region as well, and yet hardly any real. Well, I'm upset about that too. Yeah, but you weren't a second ago. It's things of that nature. But to go off on Jews for, like I said, you stubbed your toe in the night. The Jews, come on. So anyway, A-Tom said they had to know she was a drunk. You are never fully sober when you drink like that. They obviously just didn't give a damn. I mean, she's stumbling around in the class and they just like, okay, Jamie, you handle those kids. We don't really want to deal with it. It's looking like that. I mean, this is an obvious serious drunk. Pellel, I type like I have a 27 drunken level. Yeah, but you don't have the excuse. Jackie reminds me of Kitty Dukakis admitting she drank hairspray and mouthwash to get a buzz. She died recently, sad lady. Yeah, boy, when you're that deep in, it's like, oh God, I didn't go to the store. Do we have some paint thinner around? A. Thompson, you are supposed to puke at 0.1. Well, again, she developed a tolerance. A. Thompson, Doug, the first episode of the last season of Black Mirror was great. The rest of the episodes I didn't really like. That's what I'm hearing. So, yeah, I'll get there. Jackie, Doug, you're 100% correct. There is no logic. I don't want to divert the convo, but you have to work hard to find a way to justify mass murder. Yeah, and it's like, well, they faked it or something. Since then, you got nothing. I mean, yeah, I could go into it, and at one time, I had some sympathies for the Palestinians and here and there on that, and there were some elements in it, but there was opportunity after opportunity. And these were opportunities you grow on. You got to, and all that. And like even Trump said, the property could be quite lucrative if you develop it and whatnot. But, after a certain point, it's like, it's like, hey, it's not everybody. Yeah, but it's who's in charge, and at a certain point, there's really nothing else you can do. Jackie, I'm pleasantly surprised that you understand how messed up that stuff is, Doug. I usually don't want to know a podcaster's take because I've been disappointed so often. Well, I've always been a history buff, and so yeah, I've had interest in it over the years and that sort of thing. It's a long-winded thing. I suppose, yeah, I could do a take on it, and but yeah, I'm trying to be silly about crappy news stories, and I mean October 7th is that is pretty raw and brutal, and of course, proportionally speaking, people are saying it's that's like Israel's 9/11. It's proportionally speaking with by population numbers, it's way worse than that. So, and again, you know, if a similar thing happened to you, what would your reaction be? Way more brutal than what the IDF did. Jackie, okay. Jackie, when the Jewish Pennsylvania governor's home was almost burned down by an arsonist on Passover, progressives cried because they thought it was MAGA. When they found out it was an anti-Israel loon, they clammed up. Yeah, that's the thing. You always assume every time there's some attack or whatnot, you think you can take political advantage of it. Then you might find it's one of your own. Never mind, nothing to see here. I clammed up completely. Yeah. Nodak, Doug, enough with these easy questions. Time for some hardball. What's your favorite color? You know, I don't really have one, which is odd considering I'm an artist. And for a while, when I was in art school thinking I was going to be a painter, I know, stupid. I mostly painted in black and white. Then I went through this phase where I did all the paintings as letterbox to make them look like movie scenes. But I wanted it to be all black and white. I thought I was cool, you know. Turns out I was just another nerd. Jackie, Doug, what's your favorite old sitcom? Boy, that's an old one. Yeah, it goes back and forth. Geez. All in the Family, of course, is a good one. But like when I was a kid, it was like, you know, Gilligan's Island and Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie, mostly because, you know, the women. Although the first woman to reveal to me my heterosexuality was actually Batgirl in the Batman show, which was kind of a sitcom. Later on, it's funny when I watched a lot of the sitcoms in the 80s, you know, as a kid. And when they were starting to rerun them on Nickelodeon later, I was like, why did I watch this crap? It was so bad, except Three's Company. Three's Company is still funny. But a lot of the Family, I mean, not Family Ties was all right, but damn it, what was it? Oh, Different Strokes, awful. Facts of Life, stupid, you know, stuff like that. Didn't really like it. And in the 90s, you had some good winners here and there, but finally, when Seinfeld came along, that pretty much broke the mold for me with sitcoms because it's never going to be as good as this. Frasier was good. Friends, I floated with that for a while, but Seinfeld, I don't know. I just loved the hell out of that show. And since then, I just kind of wasn't interested in sitcoms anymore. Yeah. Jackie, how can you narrow down colors to one favorite? For me, it's very context dependent, and even textures can change the answer. Yeah, that's true. And color was always a difficult thing for me to, because it was like, this looks like crap. And so black and white was keeping it simplified and easy. Sometimes monochromatic, so it was all red or all blue and stuff like that. I did do a painting I called, I forget the artist's name, but it was one of these paintings that said, "Who's afraid of red, yellow, and blue?" And red, yellow, and blue are the primary colors, you know. And so I did one. It was a portrait of these two girls that I went to school with, were in the class with me. And I painted it red, yellow, and blue. The title was, I'm afraid of red, yellow, and blue. One of them I had a severe crush on. Would have married her. I fell deeply in love with her. The other one was so beautiful. She, you know how you say you never meet women who actually look like supermodels? This girl looked like a supermodel. Extraordinarily beautiful. But I had the crush on the other girl and would have married her. But she was gay. Lovely person, beautiful woman, always nice about it and everything. But that's just Doug's luck, It's fun that I can laugh about it now, I was devastated. Yeah. What are you gonna do? Jackie All in the Family? Yeah, it's a classic and whatnot. Pelle, my first hetero TV girl was Daisy Duke. Yeah, I imagine Daisy Duke did it for a lot of boys. The shorts, right? Jackie, Chrissy Snow on Three's Company would have made me question my heterosexuality if I hadn't been so young with no idea what that meant. Yeah, Suzanne Summers. She was something else. Nodak, mine was Kelly Kapowski. All right. Jackie, they're making a Malcolm in the Middle update, but are recasting the role of Dewey. Yeah, there are some shows that I think, hey, it'd be interesting to do a remake of this or that. Don't do it. Just stop doing it. After the era we've been through, they don't know what they're doing. And that's the other thing. It's like, try something new. It's going to have to be some independent production company or something that farms it out to a studio, if at all. Which is going to be tough because there's so much available, a lot of crap to plow through to get to the diamonds in the rough. But that's really the only way. Yeah, that's another thing. That's for a Nailsin ratings show. You could just go on and on and on of being so disappointed and reviving old stuff, because the truth is they just wanted the brand name and then couldn't do the due diligence to at least do an okay version of it. And then tried to shield it with identity politics and the like. You know the story. Nodak, how can you narrow it down to one color, Jackie? Easy. Green, LOL. I have a green tint to the studio because it makes it easier to conceal, because I don't have the proper lighting and stuff for green screen, even with OBS, and I have to do the extremes of making it so dark. Because, it hides out the green screen that might come through. Jackie Pell, my brother was 2 or 3 when he developed a crush on Vanna White, who he called Boobs. He'd point at the TV and yell, "Boobs." Well, that's understandable. Turns out she had boobs. Yeah, she did. She posed for Playboy, but then got discovered for Wheel of Fortune. And then Playboy said, "Hey, didn't we have pictures of her?" And they published them. Yes, I saw them. They were nice. Nothing to be ashamed of. She is beautiful. No, yeah, Dewey was one of the last people to act with B. Arthur. Pell L at Jackie. LOL, boobs white. I'd agree. Jackie Nodak, but what green? I love a hunter or a petrol green. Sea foam can also be gorgeous. Well, that's the thing, the gradations and stuff. So many choices. Nodak, just green. Anything more than that is none of anyone's business, LOL. Jackie, the Malcolm in the Middle update is with the original cast except for Dewey. Bryan Cranston really pushed for the update, apparently. So he's run out of options and offers for other stuff. I mean, after Breaking Bad, he did a Godzilla movie. And he did that stupid remake of Total Recall, which, looked cool and had those 2 smoking hot babes in it, but it just didn't have any of the charm and whatnot of the Schwarzenegger one, Let's see. I got to cut this short. Boy, it's 2 hours. Jackie Nodak, that's how my aforementioned brother chose the New York Jets as his favorite NFL team at age 3 because green was his favorite color. Well, there you go. It's just that simple. Nodak, does your brother still do that, Jackie, since she is still on Wheel of Fortune? Jackie, no, he's 44 now, but probably, Nodak, he's 44 now, but probably, well, yeah, there's always a sweet spot. You know, I always had a sweet spot for Yvonne Craig, who's no longer with us, sadly. Did I do? Yeah, I did that one. Okay, this nut. We'll get to him. And I say nut. I just only glanced at the article. But this mugshot, you know. Boy, that's a winner. See that? Yeah, look at that. He's like, whoo! I can't believe I've been busted for this crime. Texas man allegedly killed and disemboweled his father, who he claimed was an alien. He was, man. Anyway, a 39-year-old man is in custody for allegedly killing his father, disemboweling him, and stealing his car. Oh, come on. El Paso Police Department officers went to a home on the 11700 block of Ronald McNair Drive for an unattended death situation. Oh, he should have attended it. And found 74-year-old Victor Gerardo Contreras, deceased. The Crimes Against Persons Unit. Okay. Could it just be homicide? I don't know. Arrived at the scene and determined Contreras' death was suspicious. Following an investigation, they issued a warrant for the arrest of, I guess it's Jaime instead of Jamie, Jaime Contreras. Officers located Jaime Contreras and arrested him on a charge of murder. According to court documents cited by TV, the victim's son and suspect's brother went to the home on April 12th to check on his father because he had not spoken to the victim in about a week. The son reportedly could not get in the front or back door, so he went to his dad's bedroom window and smelled rotting flesh. The son entered the home through the window and reportedly discovered Victor Contreras with his head bashed in, throat slit and covered with a sheet. The son also realized Victor Contreras' Jeep Wrangler wasn't at the house. The son reportedly texted Jaime about the situation, but he never responded. The son's wife spoke with Victor twice on April 4th, and in the first call, he allegedly told her Jaime Contreras was acting crazy again. Oh, so there's a pattern here, huh? Jaime Contreras, who lived with his father, reportedly took the phone and told her that he was angry that Victor Contreras wanted to sell the house. Victor Contreras called the police, then later informed his daughter-in-law that everything was fine. I'm guessing he was wrong about that. A neighbor told police that he saw Jaime Contreras driving his father's Jeep, parking it nearby, and going to his house for several hours at a time. Police executed a search warrant for the house and discovered apparent blood throughout. Investigators found Jaime Contreras and the Jeep nearby. And when they asked where Victor Contreras was, he said he was in heaven. Investigators reportedly saw injuries and lacerations on Jaime Contreras' body. Contreras allegedly told them he hurt himself battling and fighting. Reports he claimed an alien recently harvested his organs. Huh. So how was he still walking around? I mean, TV reports police previously responded to calls at Victor and Jaime Contreras' home. In 2023, Jaime Contreras allegedly said his father was an alien, then walked around the surrounding streets with a decapitated rabbit. Jeez Louise. Several months later, officers went to the house because Jaime Contreras again said his dad was an alien. On April 5th, Victor Contreras reportedly called El Paso police saying Jaime Contreras was threatening him and killed his pets. Police went to the home and listed it as checking. Okay. Hours later, Victor Contreras called police a second time and claimed Jaime Contreras threatened him with a hammer. The medical examiner who went to the home when Victor Contreras was found dead noted that the 74-year-old was disemboweled. Jaime Contreras is in custody at the El Paso County Jail with bond set at $2 million. I'm guessing he doesn't have it. Huh. Yeah. I'm guessing he does have mental illness problems. I know you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but so they said he was acting crazy again. Huh. Whatever, we know the outcome of it. Sad all around, but odds are this father was not really an alien. All right. I'll do a couple of more chat. And then I got to move on to our final story, which I've been waiting to do all night. And I get in this fog, reading the chat and stuff and chatting with you guys. And the time just flies by. So I'm not going to be doing any drawings tonight. Whoa, I got to get up and walk around. I got problems. And, I got to go. I got an appointment. I got to go take care of stuff. I might not be able to do a morning show either. Jeez. I mean, if I get a quick one in, I might be able to do that and draw something. Wonder what it could be. Jackie, Brian Cranston is offensively stupid about politics. That's almost always the case with actors and whatnot. He went on Bill Maher's Club Random and showed the world how very MRDD he is. Yeah, again, I don't know. But yeah, they're all very ignorant about a great many things, And it's one of those things, you're good at your craft. That doesn't mean you're a genius on everything else, Pell, as long as he wasn't an illegal alien, I don't see the issue. Yeah, I don't think that's the type of alien his son was talking about. Jackie, an old person dying alone is so sad. Well, he wasn't alone. Jackie, disemboweled. Okay, so he didn't die alone. Never mind. Yeah, no. No. His boy, pushed him on his way. Jackie, bring back the asylums. Yeah, I'm afraid so. The asylums got a bad rap because there was all this abuse and stuff. You're going to have to maintain some serious oversight. So you don't have like the ones Geraldo Rivera made his name on where they're all laying around in their own feces and everything. That kind of stuff. And you had basically below minimum wage staff and they don't give a rat's ass. All that kind of thing. But then the solution was, well, shut all that down, cut the pay, and throw those people out on the street. Well, look how that turned out, and made it more difficult for people to have people committed. You can still do it, but this guy needed to be committed, But then again, it seems like dad just couldn't bring himself to have his son locked up, So many psychos walking around. Yes. That's why don't make eye contact. Joe Lamont, did he really steal the car, though? If Dad was dead, wouldn't he have inherited it? Oh, well, that could be a mitigating circumstance. So I guess they can't charge him with theft. Jackie Pell, one of the reasons I left New York and then L.A. was because so many violent, mentally ill people are everywhere. Even in Beverly Hills, they're stooping on street corners in broad daylight. Horrific. Yeah, that does go on. And, you can go, hey, what are you, crazy? And they're like, yes. Oh. So let's get to our final story. And if I do any drawings for a morning show in a few hours, I'm thinking I'm going to go with this for subject matter. Just something about it. I don't want that. Where am I? There I am. Here I am. There we go. Convicts couldn't resist me as a hot prison guard. Now I make close to $400K on OnlyFans. No, not me. This girl. If looks were illegal, she'd be locked up. Oh, New York Post. Oh, you. But for Alicia Davis, working as a minimum security prison guard surrounded by sex-starved male criminals, lusting over her fine frame was tough enough. I had to constantly reject them. The Siren 32 bragged Jam Press. They'd comment on my appearance saying, "You look really good today." That's all they said. Or noticing the finer details about my look. Well, what do you mean? Oh, yeah. Huh. Yeah. Well, boy, uniforms in correctional officers have changed over the years. And, I can understand some amount of distraction, but for hardened criminals, really hardened, to say, "You look really good today." Well, that's rather polite, isn't it? Instead of like, "Show us your tits." "Oh, you are. How about that snatch?" You would think it would be that, but it was, "You look really nice today." I mean, that's just sweet, isn't it? Well, she agrees. "It was sweet of them," said Davis, admitting she enjoyed the compliments and attention. It doesn't surprise me. She does look like the type that enjoys attention a lot. And, why not make some money on the deal? But it was so important for me to tell them that these sorts of comments aren't appropriate. She had to wag her finger at him. She was giggling while she did. The brunette, based in Australia, recently ditched her $61,000 guard duties to showcase her sinful physique on OnlyFans, earning her over $371,000 per year. But she's just one of many bombshells who claim their hotness can be both beneficial and a burden. Vera Dejectmans, 27, the self-professed world's most wanted girlfriend, why, that's big of her, claims that despite her head-turning fineness, she's unable to find the man of her dreams. Bootylicious Marina Smith, crowned Miss Bum Bum for boasting the best butt in Sao Paulo, I'm always messing that, Sao Paulo, or whatever, Brazil, was banned from a friend's Christmas dinner for fear she'd steal away the attendees' boyfriends and husbands. There's got to be better stock photos for this story. I mean, you've got this guy seemingly leering at the prisoner, like, "You want to do me a favor?" Yes, I'm a beautiful woman, Smith 34 moaned, but that is not a reason for anyone to leave me out. Look, it gets catty sometimes. And I mean, look, it could be quite, adding to insecurities and somewhat fear because, she's like, her husband can't control himself. Men can't control those things in their pants. Anyway, Shai Lee calls it the curse of pretty privilege. People overall treat you much differently, and they don't judge you for your actions. The Smoke Show previously told the Post. They judge you just from your appearance. Well, yeah, they see you. Yeah, there you go. See, you walk around like that. Is this at the prison? Well, no wonder. And yeah, look, what am I going to do? It lie and say, "I didn't notice." Of course I did. Davis said she was harshly judged by prisoners' paramours during visiting hours. "Some of the wives used to come in and just stare me down," said the pinup. "I don't know what their husbands said to them about me, but I didn't react to the comments or stares. They probably told her, look, I've got a major chubbies for our conjugal visit, and you should thank Alicia for it. Yeah, the wife probably didn't appreciate that. But then again, you know, she gets it up. She blames the hate on her sexiness, as well as her status as the warden's watchman. Watchman? I mean, watchwoman. Wow, look at that. I mean, what is that? Well, anyway, like I said, they've really changed the uniforms in prison. Inmates weren't allowed to kiss during visits, but many tried anyway. Davis recalled. You mean they certainly aren't? You mean they were trying to kiss their girlfriend? So no conjugal visits, huh? I often had to step into separate couples. Oh, to separate couples. So it became a three-way, which annoyed the wives of girlfriends who would become upset and target me personally. So they really hated it when you did it. Like when the male guards did it, they were fine. I never strip searched male prisoners. Oh, boy, are they pissed about that. But I did strip search female visitors. Oh, yeah. Which is probably another reason they resented me so much. Yeah, well, she too had to ensure that their fits followed the prison's policies. Look, it's prison policy. This is my uniform. See, that's on pink days. Visitors face strict dress codes. And but not her. And anyone wearing revealing clothing like low-cut tops was turned away, said Davis. Confessedly unfazed by the women's shade, you can let the prisoners or partners get to you. But the con men relentlessly tried getting access to her, I'll bet, both in person and online. Online. They're allowed to do that. The inmates made sure to greet me each day, she remembered. Well, yeah, they didn't do this with any other female staff. I was singled out. Gee, I bet you're popular with the other ladies, too, on the staff. But anyway, while on the job, Davis was barred from wearing makeup, colored nail polish, and they're not going to notice any of that. They're looking at something else, which could have been stolen or used as a weapon by the jailbirds. Oh, well, yeah, that too. She was required to wear her hair slicked back. Again, it's not going to do anything. I mean, yeah, it's a nice look to have it, let her hair down and stuff. But nevertheless, yeah, that wasn't going to stop him from, getting a chubby, and was ordered to refrain from making adjustments to her work uniform. Okay, so there was an actual uniform. It was made very clear that I couldn't look pretty at all. But how are you going to hide the hotness? I used to get my eyelashes done, which they eventually told me I wasn't allowed to have either. God, no fun. He has hope that Alicia's on duty today. Yeah. But downplaying her allure didn't deter the prisoners from pressing their luck with the beauty. They would ask me how my day was going or what time I finished. Hundreds of times during each shift, said Davis. Sometimes on the day they were released, they'd find my Instagram and ask to meet up. And although she was flattered, the professional always kept her wits about her. Well, there's always this. The end. Well, not yet. The men would get a rise out of me responding to their advances or remembering their name, which seems harmless. But everything they do is a test. It quickly becomes a game of manipulation. Still, the Belle struggled not to pursue legitimate relationships with the delinquents. She was getting turned on. We were told to build up really strong relationships with the why? Which was tricky to do when you weren't allowed to form an emotional attachment. We needed them to trust us enough to talk about anything, such as if there was something happened underhand. But the crooks often mistook her chumminess as romantic interest. Yes! I mean, you can't help but the fantasy takes over. You think, wow, she actually remembered my name. She talks to me. She smiled at me. I got a chance to hit this. Because I was close with many of them, they wanted to be closer. They often tried to give me gifts, which I couldn't accept. They don't have much in there, but it would be small items like woodwork or metalwork. Oh my God. That they'd make themselves while inside as a kind of flirtatious gesture. And she just felt so bad about it. Did one of them make this? That's pretty good, you know? And the flour? Food was also a big one, said Davis, but no matter how tasty, I was forbidden from saying yes because you'd never know if they had put something in it or spat in it or something. She did, however, throw caution and her digestive system to the wind at least once. One of the prisoners offered me dumplings once. Are you sure it wasn't humplings? That he made himself, a dish I find particularly hard to refuse. So I did eat one. Thankfully, nothing happened, and it was quite tasty. Well, I bet he appreciates that. But now, as an internet model, she's filling up one on the fruits of financial freedom, courtesy of her Come Hither Gerbs. My new career gives me the freedom to work in my own time and be myself with no restrictions, gushed Davis. I can wear what I want or what I don't want, mostly that, and flirt with whoever I want without the fear of being punished. But if I am, I'll put that on screen too. Now I set the rules. And, well, there you go. See, a happy ending. A happy ending indeed. There you go. Well, isn't that nice? Oh, boy. Yeah, I guess at least she admits she was tempted and somewhat titillated and somewhat turned on. Really adds to the whole narrative, you know. And also, she can't say no to dumplings. That's something, huh? Yeah. Jackie Pell, one of the reasons. Oh, I already read that one. Jackie, Doug, when do you sleep? Egads. Well, I have a night job, part-time night job over the weekends. So I'm a night guy. So I'll be sleeping during the day. Nodak, LOL. I was going to say, cue the story with the half-naked good-looking lady. I know. After all that horror and monstrosity. Isn't that nice? Pell L, OF OnlyFans channel started by OF Onlyfellas. There's probably a few, you know. Pell L, exactly. That drunk to Quatcher, they'd think, look really nice today. Yeah, Pella, Jackie, oof. New York and LA are 22 of the most unstable places in recent years. Yeah, it just happened, didn't it? Pella 2, not 22. Thank God. Hey, Thompson, I told you, Doug. Show holes. Money. Nobody wants to see my holes. I mean, when my mouth opens, you see that one. Hey, Thompson, 300K. Shit, Doug, sign up. Karmic X also. You think I'd get 300K showing my butthole? Jackie Pell, indeed. I miss LA, but it got untenable. I miss what New York was before the politicians killed it. Not willing to live within 25 miles of either now. Yeah, that's understandable. St. Ranger says, howdy, Doug. Hi, St. Ranger. Thanks again for the erasers and the blades. But I haven't gotten around to using them yet. I'll let you know how that turns out. Probably demonstrate it while I'm drawing something on the show, you know. Hey, Thompson, someone paid her $300K to see her gash. I wouldn't go past $5. Look, that's true of all the OnlyFans stuff, especially since most of that stuff's probably going to get stolen and you can just do a search and there she is. She's naked. The end, you know. I guess it's the obsession and I can actually interact with her to, you know, at least the prisoners are stuck, you know, you can understand them becoming obsessive about her and stuff, but it's like, she's not really your girlfriend, you know? And there's tons of porn. You could beat off to that. Whatever. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Just, I have to see her and I have to see her respond to my message. And then they'll beat off to that, I guess. Jackie, people pay to look at bolt-on fake bosom. Yeah, I know. That's one of the letdowns. Yeah, the fake boobs. Gosh, Doug, ever considered selling your feet pics? No. What the hell? Jack 8,000. I feel like you've seen one. You've pretty much seen them all. Buttholes. St. Ranger, fun show tonight. Are the erasers going to work for you? I think so. Plastic razors, those tend to be the best. And that's usually what I get. Hey, Thompson, I wish we could get Doug to Asia. Yeah, that's not happening. Pell out Jackie, they'll pay for anything. Someone on TikTok made money selling farts in jars. The incel presence is huge. Yeah, that's the same woman. She was once on some reality show, and then she did her OnlyFans where she farted in jars. That's a Nailsin news story. I'll have to look that up and play it. She did so much farting, she busted a gut and ended up in the hospital. She thought she was having a heart attack or something like that. So you can only fart naturally. When you force the farts, it's just not a great way to make a living. You know, who'd have thought? Wait. Nodak, she seems she likes power. Just become a dominatrix, dum-dum. She probably does. It's the attention and stuff. She gets off on that. And hey, Thompson, but then the money. You know, the money's the main thing. Come on. Hey, Thompson, they sell used panties in vending machines. I've heard they do that in Japan. Yeah. Jackie, Pell, some lesbian girl on 90 Day Fiancé made bank doing that. I wonder what she writes down as her occupation on her tax form. I'm a professional farter. I'm sorry, what? Yeah. Pell, she's good looking. Sorry. Excuse me. But nothing special. The Uber ride from her eyebrows. Oh, man. Excuse me again. The Uber ride from her eyebrows to the top of her forehead would be $45. Jeez. Hey, Thompson, about $15 for used underwear. Yeah, I don't get that. It's the woman you want, right? But I'm that much closer to her. I can smell her scent. Pell at Jackie, LOL, flatulence distributor. Okay, there you go. That's for those of you needing to fill out your tax forms. And you're really late in the States, by the way. Jackie, a girl I knew in London in the late 90s sold her used underwear via Craigslist. She would just splash tuna water on the ground. This person paid her rent doing this for years. Oh, no. He thought it was meaningful. Now he's crushed. Hey, Thompson, the bar has them outside. They make money. The girls in the bar get free underwear. It's a win-win. Yeah, I guess. Jackie, that prison guard got the New York Post to do a 1,000-word free ad for her OnlyFans. Well, yes, that's part of the deal. I think they have a whole series on those. Hey, Thompson, if someone gave me a new pair of underwear daily, I would not complain. Well, yeah, but then make sure it's still in the package because that means they touched it. Jackie, Doug, would you do OnlyFans fully nude for $1,000 a year? Asking for a friend. Yeah, I don't think that would last. Oh, now we've seen it. It now cannot be unseen. I don't know. $1,000 a year. Huh. You can't just turn it down flat, you know. No, that Karmic X first photo would be that one of him going to the bathroom that tasked you. Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Oh. Hey, Thompson, I would pay $1 to see Doug in a bikini. No homo. That's pretty homo, eh? That's pretty homo. Jackie A. Thompson, same, but a barat sling. Oh, yeah. There was a term for that. Wasn't it like, is it like, damn it, the thong kini or some shit? he was running around in that shit for the Baywatch, a remake or the Baywatch show for, what was he from? Kekistan? Not Kekistan, obviously. Damn it, I forget the country that he's supposed to be from. Hey, Thompson, $2 for a tiger print bikini. Nodak, $5 for his favorite color. Well, that's going to be tough because I don't have one. Jackie, Doug, you're right. Tuna Water Girl really cheapened the used underwear industry with her fraud. Is nothing sacred? Well, yeah. You know, how could you do that? Pell, he can sell it Nailsin nudes and do the song with it. Nudes, nudes. Jackie, nailed by Nailsin. That's going to be the memoir from my ex-girlfriend. Jackie, putting the sin in Nailsin. Well, yeah. Got to nail that sin shut. Pell, Doug's ding-a-ling display. Good Lord, this is getting downright disgusting. If not perverse. If not disturbing. All right, disturbing. We'll go with that. Well, there we go. Oh, I better check, see if anyone tried the super tips. There we go. Nope, no one did. Oh, wait, maybe you're supposed to do it like this. Nah, same old stuff. Still doesn't work. Thought it would work. That's the real disturbing thing tonight. Now I'm all bummed out again. I guess I just can't figure anything out. Because you're dog, nerd. You're right. You're right. Hey, Thompson, how about just a Ted segment style loincloth? Oh, a Ted Nugent loincloth. I can't play guitar. So that's off the tables. All right. All right. There we go. Boy, wasn't that fun. All those stories. And remember, the main purpose here is, hey, not laughing at horrific crimes and murders and all that razzmatazz, but is to remember, no matter what situation you're in, you might be feeling bad about yourself. Oh, God, I could have handled that better. I didn't. Am I a good person? Well, you're better than these assholes. You're better than them. So that's something. That's something. And I hope it meant something for you. No, really. All right. Good Lord. This was a long one, but I guess it was all worth it. See you next time when I can. I can't promise a later one for the morning. If I draw Alicia, because I do have I got to take care of some business, and I'll have to deal with that. So anyway, take care, and we'll meet again soon. For I don't know what I'll do tomorrow night. Something. Good night, everybody.
Killers, killing and killing and killing and killing. Nailsin news. Where all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street? While killers be killing and killing and killing and killing. Nailsin news. News. ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing and killing? Nailsin News. News.